The dreaded backlog. That's right, this is another backlog video. This time I'm going to be going through my much less anxiety-inducing manga backlog. But if you are interested in my comic book backlog, which is pretty massive, you can check that video out right there. I just published that a couple of weeks ago. But yes, today will be my manga backlog, and it's not quite as extensive, but I still wanted to show it off and share with you my thoughts, opinions, not only on the books, but just the anxiety that comes with backlogs, right? Because as collectors, as comic book and manga collectors, I don't know about you, but it's super easy to get overwhelmed by the amount of books, especially with manga, I feel, because the books are so cheap that you can just go to a shop, whether it's a Barnes & Noble or your local comic shop, and just get overwhelmed because they're so cheap. It's easy to buy, $5, $10, $15 here or there, and the books start really piling up. So today, let's not waste any more time. Let's jump into this one. First up, we have Lone Wolf and Cub. And yeah, Lone Wolf and Cub is by Kazuo Kinoki. I'm sorry if I'm butchering these names. I am a new manga reader. Probably a year ago is when I first bought my very first manga. Now, I do like anime. I like some of the classics like Bebop and things like that. But yes, I'm very new to manga. I have a much larger, I've been reading comics since I was a kid, but I've been reading manga much later in my life. But Lone Wolf and Cub, I'm sure many of you know this is kind of a classic, is a story about a samurai and his child and their travels throughout this world. And yeah, I've really liked it. As you can see, I'm about, probably about a fifth of the way through. Thus far, I'm really enjoying it. The art in this book is really sick. I really like how the line work comes together in this one, and I'm not very far, but I've really enjoyed it thus far. Lone Wolf and Cub, Omnibus number 1. Moving on to the second one. This is Neon Genesis Evangelion, an absolute classic in the space, but this is, if you like big mechs, if you like big kaijus, holy smokes, this is basically the godfather or the precursor to every modern day mech story you've ever read or seen, and it is by, and I'm sorry again, story and art by Yoshihiko Sadamoto. So, yeah, but I'm really liking this. I'm about three-fourths of the way through the anime, and I just wanted to pick up the manga. This is the first, second, and third volumes. So I really like it, though, thus far. And yeah, the anime is pretty spot on thus far with the book. I think I read a couple pages. I don't even have a bookmarker in this thing yet because that's how fresh and how, not very far into this bad boy I am yet. But Neon Genesis Evangelion, absolute banger thus far, and the anime has been excellent. Moving on, this was one that I believe Comic Tropes recommended, and I just picked it up on the fact that I really appreciate his opinion, and I respect his opinion. This is Azadora by Naoki Urasawa. So, I don't know too much about it. This little girl, Azadora, apparently she's not very liked in her village. It is kind of like a post-war, post-World War II in Japan, obviously. Again, the art is super solid in all these books. The art, in a lot of manga, the art is just like super solid. That's what kind of drives us, or at least me, to the book, but to manga in general. And of course, the out there stories. But yes, Azadora, following a young girl post-war. I'm not very far in it. So I don't know really too much about this. I got this for a good price at my local comic shop, and it was on sale. So when Comic Tropes, says this is good, plus it's on sale, I'm going to pick it up. And yeah, moving on though, we've got No Guns Life. No Guns Life by Tatsuku Karasuma. And as you can see, I got this on a steal of a deal, $5 from a local game shop that also sells comics and manga. But yeah, this is the story. I actually haven't started reading this yet, but it is a story of a guy who's got a gun on his head. And the thing about it, as I know it, is he can't pull the trigger himself, so he has to have like a teammate or, a partner help him. And yeah, I haven't started reading it, so I'm not too sure on it. It was recommended to me by, I forget the YouTuber, but it looks sweet. I mean, it looks fun. Again, this is a way out there, outlandish story. But again, that's kind of what attracts me to manga in the first place. But No Guns Life, I'm super stoked. And for $5, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about at the beginning of the video. Is like, it's so easy to go into a game store or a comic shop or a manga shop, if those exist. I don't know, but I'm sure they do. But it's so easy to go in, and if something's on discount, it's like $5. I'll snag that. Your backlog grows pretty quickly. Only 2 more books. We've got Crazy Food Truck. Oh, I'm holding it backwards like a Western book. But Crazy Food Truck. This one is wild. This is actually the 2nd volume. This is by Rokuro Ogaki. And I'm sorry, I'm probably butchering all these names. I do apologize. Crazy Food Truck. It's wild. This guy is a chef. He has a food truck. He's going around kind of like a post-apocalyptic world. He finds this girl who is like maybe a government, maybe she doesn't work for the government, but maybe she has been enhanced by the government or like is a government project, right? And he comes across her in the first book, and he wants to protect her, but like she's like mad, freaking insanely strong, and just like kills everybody. It's like wild. But the second book is and she's always like eating all their food and like getting naked. I don't know. It's kind of weird. But I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued by it. And, anytime there's like a food truck, so backstory, me and my girlfriend thought about starting a food truck a couple of years ago. So this piqued my interest in that. But Crazy Food Truck has been a trip, dude. I think this is like a newer book too. Like, I think this is not a very long running series. Let me know if I'm wrong on that one. But Crazy Food Truck is definitely crazy. And moving on to the last one on the list, I have Vagabond this is the first volume by Takito Inoue. Sorry if I'm butchering that. I'm the worst. But this thing is a big old chonker. And again, this is the kind of fictional version, I believe, of a very famous swordsman, a very famous Ronin that was back in the Edo era. And this is kind of a fantastical version of Musashi Miyamoto, I believe, is the person's name that this is based off of. Same person that is based off of Usagi Yojimbo. And that is a series that is near and dear to my heart. Obviously, that is not a manga. But yeah, I really have liked this so far. I'm not too far into it, as you can see by my bookmarker right there. Probably about 1/4 of the way through. But yeah, the art is excellent. The line work in this one is brilliant, dude. And anytime you get me a Edo period Ronin, like a samurai or a ninja story, I'm in. You don't even really have to tell me much more about the series. As long as it's like pretty sick, the art's good, the storytelling's good, there's interesting characters, count me in. I love, love, love those kind of series. And Vagabond, based on the reviews, and again, a lot of what I have here are based on either recommendations of people who I trust as reviewers on YouTube, or based on its actual reviews on like Google or whatever. And this is one of the best, quote unquote, the best books for the best manga books for ninjas or samurai. So that's why I picked this up. But yes, that is all of the ones. Not as extensive as my last video on the backlog that I have for my trades and my graphic novels. But if you enjoyed it and you like manga content, you like comic book content, graphic novel content, make sure to subscribe. My name's Alex. This is Graphic Novel Collector. My name's Alex. This is Graphic Novel Collector. I appreciate you all for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell icon, and set it to all so you don't miss out. And until the next video, I guess I'll catch you all on Flippy Flop. Adios!